Alrighty folks, today I've got a bit of an interesting one for y'all. So I went to the Dell Refurbished 48-hour flash sale that they were running here about a week ago or so, and I managed to find that they had a fairly decent deal on their most cheapest desktop that they sell refurbished. So what did I get? Well, time to find out. Alright, and without further ado, let's dig into this thing with my definitely not loose knife. Alright, looks like we got some e-waste peripherals included. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Oh goodness, we got some e-waste peripherals. Get a load of this. Well, actually, here, I'll get you a load of this after I get the rest of the stuff out of the box. Like the merchandise. Dang, that actually looks really clean. I'm not gonna lie. All right, box out of the way. All right, here is the machine itself, complete with Dell's wonderful green label saying that it is refurbished to Dell specifications by the FedEx supply chain. Very interestingly, so upon first impressions, it's still got at least plastic right here. That's a great sign. And overall, like, it looks fantastic. I really have not got any complaints so far, although I gotta get the rest of everything off of this, but so far it's looking really good. For those who don't know, when you get something from Dell Refurbished, you get a wonderful congratulations on the purchase of a high quality off-lease purchase from DellRefurbished.com. Not really doing the best job filming it there. We do get a terms and conditions, which I'm not financing this thing. Obviously, I wouldn't do that, nor do I think Dell would offer that anyways. And they do ship your typical e-waste keyboard, which is actually a wired keyboard. Pretty nice. And on top of that, typical e-waste mouse. But nicely enough, they do ship a power cable, so that's pretty cool. Okay, enough of the getting the roundabout stuff dealt with here. Let's get this thing out of the foam. There is a Windows 7 Pro key on the top of the case, so I will not try to show that if I can. Yeah, they got plastic covering the whole entire thing. Well, except for right there. I guess they didn't peel that part of it off, but not a big deal. A little dirty. Looks like the tape's just starting to come off a bit. And a little bit of Scotch tape on the front, but hopefully you can see a little bit. It's pretty good shape for what it is. Really can't be too mad. We'll have to get the side panel off and take a look inside, and then I'll tell you all about the specifications of the machine. Okay, I'm gonna have to go freehand camera style with this one and inside, because like it's really hot outside, and not only that, it's humid. So I'm just dying outside quite literally, so I'm gonna just stop myself from having to put myself through any more of that. Yeah, side panel looks good. Really not much to speak of inside. A little grimy, but I've seen worse. But yeah, this thing looks friggin' fantastic on the inside. Not even a speck of dust to speak of. She looks really clean. Now this is a 3020, so as such it's got that goofy, where is it? There it is. In the middle of the video there, you can see that goofy 8-pin proprietary power supply connector there. I've got an adapter to convert that to a standard 24-pin ATX, so you can actually still put in a standard ATX power supply into one of these things. Nicely, it actually still has the Dell audio integrated speaker there, which is pretty nice. This does have a hard drive. I believe it is a 500 gigabyte Seagate Barracuda in this case. And it actually should have 8 gigabytes of DDR3. Yeah, it looks like it's got two 4 gigabyte sticks of DDR3. And then the CPU in question is a Core i3-4130. And obviously that's not the most impressive chip, and I do plan on upgrading it eventually. I've got another i3 of a higher clock speed that I do plan on putting in here to slightly improve gaming performance. So you kind of have an idea as to where I'm going with this. And obviously on the back is just the standard re-IO of a 3020. So nothing very impressive at all, though you do get USB 3 and you do get DisplayPort, which is quite nice. And interestingly, the IO shield looks to be removable. I didn't realize that about a 3020 mini tower. That's actually kind of neato. Although, obviously, the front panel connections, I'm sure, are proprietary. You have to probably break those out into doing something else. That's definitely not Dell. And, I don't know what else to really say about this other than, let's see if we can get this thing fired up. That's about where I'm at. Now, the only downside is that whoever had this machine last left it running Windows 7, so I'll probably have to upgrade it to 10 tonight. After I'm done making this video, of course, I'll start it up with whatever's installed. But after that, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it to Windows 10, and we'll just go from there. But, man, initial impressions are really strong with this one. This thing looks virtually brand new, except for the Scotch tape, which I could just take that off the front. Not a big deal. Really, it's not a big deal at all. Alright, so I don't want to spoil the surprise because obviously this is a boring Dell, so I did turn it on off camera just to check everything over. So I'm just going to make this section of the video really quick, and let's just turn this on. I was doing the initial setup on my Discord over a voice chat, which we usually do in the evenings anyway, and it's nothing really special. So once this TV decides it wants to stop being stupid here with the VGA signal, you'll clearly see that, wow, we're running Windows 7. Woo. Obviously, that's what it was licensed for when it was new, as you can see. And that's not uncommon for something like this to be running Windows 7 Pro. That was a fully specable option from the factory. And funnily enough, this is technically running a Dell version of Windows 7, which is not bad. It's running 64-bit Windows 7. And yes, that internal speaker does work. It's very quiet, but of course it's better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, going into computer, hit properties, as you can see, Core i3 4130 with 8 gigs of RAM, 64 Windows. But it's kind of a hodgepodge version of Windows because there's no Dell logo, even though it had the Dell background when it fired up. And when I was going through the out-of-box experience, it had the Dell logo on the startup page, and it had the Dell blue background as per usual. So I don't know, this must be some kind of weird system image that they just threw together and just slapped on the hard drive. I'm still confused as to why they even put Windows 7 on this thing. I mean, I guess they're just reusing the license. I guess that makes sense, but still, I don't know. Either way, at least it has a Windows license. That's pretty nice of them to preload it. Anything's really better than nothing. It does have some interesting goodies like a Office 2010 launcher, so you can get Office Starter 2010 for all the good that that does, because it's definitely still supported. Otherwise, not much else is on here. It's got Windows Live. I think this is Windows Live Essentials 2011. I might be wrong on that. Let's find out, because I've not launched this yet. But I want to say it's got Windows Live Essentials 2011 on it. Yes, sir. That's what it looks like. Complete with UAC prompts and everything. Now, this is probably going to be a throwback because I haven't seen Movie Maker installed. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember this interface. I especially remember it was Movie Maker 2012. That's the one I remember using a crap ton back in my early YouTube days. That was before I started using iMovie. This was my crap. This was the thing I used all the time. Otherwise, it's got Silverlight for what that's worth, even though it's literally useless these days. And yeah, that's about it, other than this Microsoft Default Manager, which has a really weird animation when it opens up. I don't know what that's about, but I've never seen that animation anywhere else in Windows 7 before, but just kind of a tacky way of displaying the notification. But yeah, this thing's quick. Like, it's pretty snappy in Windows 7. I'm impressed. Like, it actually gets up and it goes pretty well with a hard drive. No Dell themes, but that's fine. Now, it's most interesting because I showed this to the moderators on my Discord because they were in the voice chat with me. What's interesting is on the hard drive here, there's a recovery partition just hanging out here. Now, that would normally just roll people's eyes because obviously, of course, woo, boring recovery partition. Now, that's fair enough, and I'll just show this real quick because it's nothing special. It's just Windows 7. But if I reboot and spam F8 on startup and we go into the repair your computer screen, there's definitely something lingering in there that I may use for a future video. I'm going to test it first. I'm going to see how it works, and we'll go from there. But obviously no guarantees on the timeliness of a video. If it'll show the display here. Come on, TV. I just want to check out the right option. Yep, I do. All right, so I will let this boot up, and I will return shortly. All right, and we are now booted up into Windows Recovery, so I'm just going to go ahead and authenticate myself here with my very super secure password of blank because I couldn't be bothered And as you can see, there is definitely an option for Dell Factory Image Restore. And curiously, when we open this, it does open an application here. And for some reason, it's in a generic system font, but it does pick up Dell Factory Image. So I think I'm going to do a video on this just for fun, since I think ideally what I would like to do is, if possible, I don't know how guaranteed this is going to be, but I do plan to want to put Windows 10 on this thing for obvious reasons, not the least of which is, of course, Windows 7 is out of support, and I want to use this thing for something since I got it. So I may just try to see if I can upgrade Windows 7 to 10 and then just convert the disk to GPT. Then I can switch over to using UEFI on this machine. I think you can do that reasonably simply. I'd have to double check how you do it, but I think that's how you can do it. And then that way we can try to keep if there's any Dell value, as I have no idea what kind of image this is using, and if the factory image restore is going to give me any extras over what was already shown on the camera. But I don't know, that'll be for me to find out in a future video. But at least for now, just to keep this video somewhat short, there it is, the 3020. Well, specifically the Optiplex 3020, because the 3020 could really mean anything. And I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Did I do pretty decently? I think I didn't do half bad. Like, really, for what this is, it's really not in bad shape. We'll definitely have to find some things to do with this thing, because it'll obviously be a meme, and, well, I mean, obviously there's other things I could use, but for other reasons, of course, I can't quite do that. And obviously some future upgrades are in the works. Of course, the first thing of which is probably going to be Wi-Fi. So I have this Wi-Fi card I can shove in one of the PCI Express X1 slots. I do have a graphics card I do want to put into this thing, and I also am going to swap out the power supply before I do so with I think I'm going to probably put in a 600 watt or something, like I usually have done with a lot of my custom builds, because I can get them fairly inexpensively, and they're decent quality power supplies from EVGA. Yeah, I know probably everybody's gonna give me crap for using something like that, but I don't care. I've never had an issue with them. And then I'll just adapt this 8-pin to a 24-pin, which, you know, doesn't really fully mean 24-pin, but it only uses the pins that it needs. I know this isn't really the most desirable of Optiplex model. Because of that reason alone, you have to convert the stupid thing to, you know, obviously adapt it to a normal power supply, or what we consider to be normal. But that's really about the only quirk. Usually these things are pretty rock solid to throw a power supply in and a graphics card in, and you have a pretty decent time. So, I don't know. It'll definitely be a build series in the future. But for now, that's what this is, and I just want to go and wrap this video up. So hopefully you liked what you saw, and if you did, well, then you know what to press. If you like the system for that matter, of course, you know what to press. And if you want to see more content on this in the future, you know, probably future upgrades, you know, testing of operating systems, etc., some more future content, then also give it a thumbs up. But if you don't like it, well, then that's fair. You can give it that as well. Subscribe down below and click the bell so you don't miss when I upload new videos, including ones on this machine. And with that having been said, thank you all very much for coming to watch, and I'll catch you all in the next one.